You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, my goodness. Oh, there's people that just have to continue crashing out over the Jaxson Dart introduction of President Donald J. Trump at a rally. Oh, they're mad. The View. Oh, Joey Behar, Sonny Hostin. Oh, they're furious. They are furious at Jaxson Dart today, I tell you. But I tell you who's also furious. One Boomer Esiason. And we'll get to the View, the ridiculous comments by the View, where they're sort of cheering on the Giants offensive lineman to miss blocks and punish Jaxson Dart. I mean, this stuff is, look, if Abdul Carter is under the assumption that like at least half of that locker room didn't vote for Trump, maybe more, he's a complete moron. Maybe he ought to go back to sleep. Maybe you ought to take another nap. You're not getting enough rest. Man, Boomer Esiason. Let's just watch this before we get to the View. Because Boomer went all in.
This was a real error on the part of Abdul Carter, not on the part of Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart was asked to do something to introduce the President of the United States. How many people get an opportunity to do something like that, regardless of who the president is? You may have hated Barack Obama. You may have hated Joe Biden. And some guys didn't want to go to the White House because they didn't like those presidents, just like other guys didn't want to go to the White House because they didn't like President Trump. But to put this out like a child on social media is ridiculous. And then when I heard, we spoke man to man. Yeah, there was only one man on that call, and that was Jaxson Dart. You were a man who was late to meetings. You were a man who didn't live up to your draft choice. You're a man who wanted to wear number 56. And by the way, your idol, number 56, has introduced Donald Trump numerous times. So I don't want to hear this. So he made another just boneheaded error by going to social media.
And again, his coach supports Trump. The coach that did not draft him, by the way. Just putting that out there. I think if Abdul Carter's wanting out of town, he's got a damn good head start. Because John Harbaugh, he's not going to put up with this shit. And now everybody, after his little comment the other day that did vote for Trump, all got to look in Abdul Carter's direction like, okay, dude, really? Question mark? It's a horrible look for a guy that didn't play great, to be honest. He didn't play good last year. He had a couple of flashes, and that was it. There was people using the B word last year with Abdul Carter. Bust. Let's not get confused. Joey Behar.
I don't know what all that was. but some people were not happy with Dart's open political endorsement. I mean, isn't he entitled to his...
It's America.
He's entitled to his thing.
For somebody to back a guy like Trump, whose history in discrimination and racism goes back to housing discrimination.
They're still lying about Trump on The View. They don't have but one lane. Seriously. We've got one bullet left in the chamber.
In the 70s, DEI attacks and posting pictures of the Obamas as apes. When he's on a team that's 55% to 60%, the NFL is that many people, that much percentage of black people.
Yeah,
That is just the definition of stupidity and racist, in my opinion.
Wow. So, Sonny Hostin. Oh, God.
And he just alienated a lot of Democrats with this choice. I think the easiest thing is, weigh the consequences if
who cares?
you're going to do it, and don't complain on the other side if people aren't happy.
Well, and you need your linemen to protect you.
Oh, you sure do need your offensive line to protect you. But the thing is, this was a choice, and it was a political one. And, we're just not in normal times anymore. And so we know that when there have been abnormal times, like during the civil rights movement, you had athletes speak up. You had someone like Muhammad Ali, who took a stand against the Vietnam War.
By the way, if he would have been introducing Joe Biden or Barack Obama, oh, they'd be fawning. They'd be tripping over themselves. Seriously, trying to give Jaxson Dart a reach around.
And then you've had Juan Carlos, who took a stand against what was happening here in the U.S. I think when you know the history of this president and you know the biases of this president, for a certain community, the Black community, for me, if this feels personal. And I think if you are someone who attacks the community to which I belong, and you support that, that tells me two things. Either one, you agree with his politics and you agree with his biases, or you can be adjacent to it, stomach it, and that means you are complicit in my view.
Yeah.
My God. I mean, what are we even talking about?
There's a whole Congress. There's a whole Congress, all kinds of folks.
Yeah.
But we have to remember that his right to learn about consequences, because I think he's very young and maybe doesn't realize that there are consequences to these things. You know, he's entitled, but this book says if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for you.
Yeah.
Okay? If I got free speech, you got free speech.
Yep.
I don't have to like your speech.
Exactly.
I don't have to like anything you say.
Fans, like Alyssa said, fans, supporters, they can respond in kind.
That's right. And maybe that's what maybe it's not just how to take care of your money they should be teaching folks coming out of school, but what consequences are and what these kinds of things mean. So, we all live in Loin.
Yeah.
Don't we, though? We live in Loin. We'll be right back.
My God. Triggered over an NFL player introducing Trump. Shouldn't shock us. I mean, these morons have been going out there and getting triggered for how many years now? 10? And what's amazing is their viewership is trash. Just like Stephen Colbert's, just like Jimmy Kimmel, but they keep them on the air. It's crazy. That's all you need to know that there is full agenda all up in these networks, and I'm sure if you're keeping up, you already know this. Unbelievable. Suggesting that the O-line shouldn't protect. Sarah Haynes, and I don't know why we didn't get to. Did she say that as Sonny Hostin was starting to speak or something? Because I guess she had said that. I didn't hear it in the clip, but in the quote, it was in there. Sarah Haynes suggests Dart's O-line will let him get hit as punishment. Shit, lady, his O-line all voted for Trump. Let's stop the nonsense, for crying out loud. The O-line's the smartest dudes on the team, for crying out loud. Maybe not Evan Neal. I guess he's going to get another. Is he getting another year? John Harbaugh going to put up with that dude, that bust? I don't know. Unbelievable. Truly. By the way, ordered me a mint graded 10 Jaxson Dart rookie card. Sure did. I did it. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.